Hello, everyone. We're working our way through the engineering design process. So far, we have defined the problem. We've identified the criteria and constraints for your solution. We've brainstormed. You did a brainstorming activity, select to brainstorm multiple ways to solve your problem. And just now, you've finished selecting the solution, the most promising solution, the solution that you think best fits your criteria and constraints. And now you need to start prototyping. So let's review that real quick. We defined the problem. We identified criteria and constraints. We're brainstorming. You brainstormed, and then you just selected the solution that you want to pursue, the solution you want to really design and flesh out. So I'm going to go over what this is going to look like. So up until this point, guys, most of you, all of you have been following the same process, regardless of what your topic or question or whatever is. Now, what you all are doing might look pretty different, right? Because some of you are building a device. You're actually building something that you can feel and hold and touch, right? Others of you are have an idea and you're going to develop that idea and explain all the details related to it. Perhaps have to do some research regarding that. Others of you are doing more like awareness campaigns, making people aware of the issue so that you can bring about change that way. So this document, your assignment number 9 that you're all on right now, is meant to be flexible. Like change it as you need to based on what your prototype is. So it says right here in the document that you're on, use the space below to display your prototype. And there's lots of different ways you could display it. The box is this big. However, you are able to alter this space, meaning change the space to make it work for your solution. So if your solution is a video, you're filming and you're writing a script and you're filming the video or whatever, like you can put a link to the video there. If your solution is a device that you're building, build it, put a picture of it there. If your solution is an idea that you don't really have the resources to build, but it's really important to flesh out the idea and what it's going to do and how it's going to improve the environmental impact, whatever. Like type out all the details there, or put a link to a document where you've typed up all the details there, or something like that, right? Like this space is flexible. But this is where you're going to put like your prototype, what your solution is. Super important, guys. Your solution should have details, right? Like if your human activity that you're researching is air pollution, and your prototype says stop polluting the air, or like encourage factories to stop polluting, like that's not enough. That's like maybe the first start of your idea, but you got to deal. How are you going to do that? What does it mean to stop polluting the air? That's the whole point. That's the problem you're trying to fix. Like, what are you going to do to actually make that happen? Or what could you do or propose to make that happen? If you're proposing an idea that's like something that you don't have the resources to attain, imagine you're like proposing it in front of President Duque or something, and you're like, "Hey, I'm a student at CNG. I came up with this idea that I think is good for the environment. Here are the details. Here's what I want. Here's what I want you. Here's why I think you should invest in it." That's kind of like this, like how you can write this one this part if you want. Because realize like some of you have the resources to actually do this. It's easier for you to imagine. Some of you don't. Like you would need a lot more resources, so you can like propose it or act like you're proposing it to like the president of the country or something like that, right? So this space is really different. Is really like use this space as you need to, change it as you need to. But this is where you're going to put the prototype for your solution, like your first like go at it, explaining, and your first go at building whatever. Your solution can go in this space right here. After you build it, design it, whatever, you need at least three complete sentences, at least explain how you would collect data to determine if your solution is successful. So you might have this awesome solution, but you have to, in order to like continue doing the solution, or in order for the solution to be able to be used elsewhere, you have to have data showing that it actually works, right? And if it doesn't work, you don't need to use it anymore, right? So I want you to think of some sort of way you can collect data in order to determine if your solutions work. For example, if you're doing an awareness campaign, let's say you want to make sure people are aware of the dangers of fracking so that they can vote accordingly or they can give money accordingly. So you make an awareness campaign. You say you make like a bunch of videos that are going to be shared on social media, or a bunch of TikToks that are going to be shared on social media about why fracking is bad. And that's your solution, okay? Your data collection could be something like, I'm going to survey a bunch of people before we release these videos on TikTok about fracking, and then I'm going to survey a bunch of people a week after we release them, then 2 weeks after we release them, and 3 weeks after we release them about their opinions on fracking to see if their perception of fracking has changed at all, right? So a lot of different ways you can collect data. That's just one example, but make sure you detail specifically how you collect the data. Once you do all this part should take you a while. This is like the most important part of this whole project. Like you've researched, you've brainstormed, you criterion constraints, all this stuff. This is actually where you actually come up with a solution. So don't rush through this. Like take your time, make sure it has detail. Because what you're going to do is you're going to turn it in, and then as it says in the other on the step-by-step document, guys, you're going to turn it in, and then you're going to have to consult with your teacher. Either consult with your teacher in order, and we need to approve it for you to move on. What we're going to be looking for is, do you have enough detail? Like that's what we're going to be looking for. Like you could have an awesome idea, but the whole purpose of this space is for you to put all the details about your idea, whether it's a device that you're building or whatever it is. You should have detail. Okay. Without the detail, you cannot do assignment 10, which is the next step. So you're going to turn it in, get feedback from us, make sure it's okay to move on. Then you're going to go to assignment 10. Okay. You'll come back to this assignment later. So it says, turn in this assignment, do not move on in this assignment until you have first completed assignment 10. Assignment 10 is where you're going to get feedback on your solution. Okay. Once again, this is going to look very different depending what you're building. Specifically, if you're building a device. If you're building a device, instead of, as this explains here, instead of doing this assignment, you're going to collect data. You're going to test, does your device work, right? And you can put that on a different Google Doc. That's totally fine. But collect that data and submit it to this assignment on Google Classroom, okay? However, for most of you who aren't building a device, this is where you're going to get your feedback. Like how are you going to know, how are you going to get feedback in order to improve your design? To do this, you're going to present your design to at least 2 peers. That means 2 classmates and 1 trusted adult, right? So your trusted adult could be a parent, it could be a teacher, it could be someone, your grandma that you Skype with, whatever. 1 trusted adult you have to get feedback from, and 2 classmates, okay? To get feedback from 2 classmates, you can just Zoom call them, or if you happen to live in a building with someone, you can go see them that way. But you're going to totally present your problem. It says present your problem, present your criterion and solutions, describe for them the solution you developed, show them your plan, show them your picture, your diagram, whatever you did, and then get feedback on them. So you're going to put their name, are they a peer or trusted adult? What positive feedback did they have? I put bullet points so you can just kind of like bullet, like, or the person doing this can bullet. You can either have the person giving feedback fill this out, or you can like interview them and fill it out as they talk, however you want to do it. But like bullet all the things that are good about it, and then the person will bullet all the things they think could be improved. And that's probably the most important part. Like, how could we improve your design? Other comments or ideas. So these are 3 feedback things. You're going to get feedback from 3 people. Remember, this only applies if you aren't building a device. Because if you're building a device, you're probably going to collect data by testing it. Okay. So you get your feedback, submit your feedback, and you're going to learn from your feedback, right? You're going to go back to assignment 10. You're going to contact your teacher so they can return it to you so you can access it again and edit it. I want you to summarize the feedback you received about your solution and then incorporate that feedback into your design. So how are you going to change your design to make it better? And make sure that's really clear somehow in this space. So just to reiterate, guys, this is like the last most probably important step of this whole process. Like you've researched, you have all these ideas, you identified your criterion constraints, you've done all this stuff, but now you actually have to like develop this idea and communicate it to someone in order to get feedback on it. Okay. Once you're done with these 2 documents, then you're going to go and create your presentation where you're going to eventually share this presentation with the virtual science fair and other students in the class. But this, I can't understate how important it is for you to really put in your time and work into these 2 documents to make sure we finish the engineering and design process well. Please reach out as you have questions, and your teachers will get back to you as soon as we can. Thanks, guys, and keep working hard.